A very warm welcome to all of you for joining us today for the exciting session. I'm thrilled to be here to introduce our speaker for the session, who is truly a luminary in the field of AR and VR development. As we embark on the As we embark on the journey of learning and discovery, we will explore the frontiers of AR and VR technology and discover new ways to integrate this technology into our daily lives. So, without any further ado, I would like to introduce our esteemed speaker, Dikshita Verma ma'am, who will be sharing her insights on how to incorporate augmented and virtual reality into your next hackathon project. With her extensive experience as an AR developer, MLH coach, and an upcoming software engineer at Google, we are truly honored to have her share her knowledge and expertise with us today.
Thank you so much, Purvi, for that great introduction. Hi, everyone. How's it going? Hello, hello, hello. Can I get a hi in the chat from the people who are here? So this session is actually going to be about AR/VR, and I'm going to talk about how to use AR/VR with your next hackathon project. So, just an introduction on why am I the best person to give this presentation today is hi, I'm Deekshita Verma. I am a Major League Hacking coach for the APAC region. What MLH Coach does is we are as an extended organizer for any hackathon, and since Witty Hacks is also going to be an MLH sponsored hackathon, so you'll see me there as a coach as well. I'm a final year undergraduate student at IGDTUW. I'm an ARVR developer and freelancer. I've worked in the field for over 3 years now, and I have also mentored over 500 students and conducted 30 plus sessions on ARVR, and I'm an upcoming software engineer at Google. So, a little bit of why I started working in this tech domain is because I've been a major fan of the technology ever since Pokemon Go came. I was very excited to learn what's the idea behind it and how do I want to explore it, and if it's something which excites me or not. And since everyone was picking web development, machine learning in their first year, I was like, okay, I'll stand out. I'll try to do a technology which is not common in my college, and I picked up this particular domain. And luckily, was I literally fell in love with the domain. I have made so many projects in it, and each of my hackathon projects, I've only worked in ARVR. Yes, I know a bit of web development. I'm also an Android developer. I have idea about how to work with machine learning or something, or AI, and all of the other tech stacks that are available. But I think ARVR has been my major domain, and I have incorporated it in every single project possible. So today we're going to talk about it, and since you have, let's say, around 10 days or 12 to 13 days before the hackathon starts, if we start today, how do you incorporate it in your next project? Okay. So, first of all, what is ARVR? Does anybody in the chat want to give an input to it, or should I, start explaining what the domain is? Do we have anybody in the chat who knows how to work with ARVR, or any idea of what ARVR is? Okay, I don't see any such comments. So I'll just start explaining what ARVR is. The first picture that you see right here is what augmented reality looks like, and the second picture definitely explains VR. A lot of you may have seen virtual reality or VR while going to an arcade or played a game of that sort. Uh, so Sheetal says that for her, AR/VR means cool Snapchat filters. Yes, that's actually how AR works. Virtual reality is like entering in a different world altogether, whereas AR is basically combining your real world and your virtual world together. So let's say that I have my phone right here. Now, inside my phone screen, I want to see some particular object or something which does not exist in the real world, right? That is what AR will do. So if I look through my screen, and let's say if I put my hand over here and suddenly a ball appears to you in the camera or in the screen, but it does not exist in real life, that is augmented reality, augmenting things which do not exist in the real world, but they look so authentic, so real, that it looks like it was actually there. So I had this project where I, made different car models and put them in my parking along with an actual car that was sitting in my parking, and you couldn't identify the difference between the real car and the virtual car. So that is how beautiful augmented reality can work. And if I talk about virtual reality, it puts you in a different world altogether. So if I wear a VR headset right now, I'll enter a space, I would not know what my real surroundings are. And there are chances if I'm not standing in a clear space, I might hit my head somewhere because I don't know what the real world is or what exists over there. So that's what virtual reality looks like. So, like I said, I did explain some of the features of what ARVR is, but how do we use it? How do they apply in different projects in the industry these days? So, some applications of ARVR. First of all, a lot of makeup brands, a lot of e-commerce brands have these filters sort of thing, or let's say, a picture where you can show how that makeup looks like, how that particular shade looks like. Now I am a makeup artist, I absolutely love this feature that I can try out the lipstick before it actually delivers to my home, so I know I'm ordering the right shade for myself. So that's how makeup can work over here. For furniture industry, this is an application from IKEA. So IKEA actually introduced this particular application where you can try furniture at home and see if it works for you. So in this industry, obviously, let's say you have to order a couch for your home, and you're not sure if the couch will go along with the aura that your room has, the design that your room has. So you want to try it out, but obviously you can't deliver a couch at home, try it, and then deliver it back. So IKEA introduced this application where within AR you can see how it looks like at your home and see for yourself if it's good. If it's good, you'll order it. If it's not, then okay, that's not a problem. You can try out another couch available on the website or the application they have. So these are the things that e-commerce has, and again, this is actually a hint. You can use it in any e-commerce application that you build for a hackathon project. So let's say you have a project where you are building a portal for people who are doing work from home these days, and you want to make things accessible for them so that they can order in things and they don't have to head out of the home, or especially leave their laptop, leave their work and go out. So in that sort of an e-commerce application, you can include ARVR where they can try things at home and order it for themselves instead of actually stepping up. So this is where you can use ARVR in an e-commerce application. Coming to education, education has so many scopes. So this is basically explaining a science student the architecture of the skull. So what you see right here is actually a virtual skull projected in the real world where you're trying out how it looks like. So that is what ARVR can do. Now, this can again be converted into a full virtual reality project. So, we were building this project for Imagine Cup, and my team decided that there are Parkinson's patients. Parkinson's is a disease where, with old age, people lose their sense of motion. They don't know how to move their hands around, they don't know how to move their legs around. So, we built a lot of VR games for them where they had to particularly move their hands and play that game, something which connects them from their childhood, which they'll be actually excited to see, and that is how they were getting their physiotherapy done. That is a whole different level of project. Um, and again, it was for Imagine Cup, so we had a lot of research and process done. We had doctors on board and medical students with us who were helping us out with the entire project on how this will work actually. So a basic technology, a virtual reality game can be turned into something which can bring physiotherapy for people, is what power ARVR has. And the biggest application that you'll see in VR these days. So these are basically AR applications. VR application is metaverse. How many of you may have heard about metaverse or it was a buzzword for a couple of days. A lot of people had no idea what metaverse was, but they were like, metaverse aa raha hai, ye hai, wo hai, and people are securing places over there. It's going to be a cool technology. Within 5-10 years, it will be on whole different level or something like that. So a lot of people discussed about it. Now, the scope of VR and metaverse. Let's say we want to build something blockchain and VR combined. So that's where metaverse can play a role. You can build again an e-commerce or a walk-in store in a virtual headset, and add blockchain, add NFTs as a form of payment for them. There's actually an H&M store in metaverse. There are many stores in metaverse available, and you can make so many things out of it, because if you enter a virtual world, within a virtual world you can build a shop, or digital avatars which are conducting meetings, or let's say I think anything anything that exists in real world, you can build a metaverse feature of it, and you can add blockchain or NFTs as a form of payment in it. So that's what you can do with VR. Now, a lot of people, like, you've heard what ARVR is. Um, how do you incorporate it? Like that, there are certain applications that already exist, and you can build different features out of it. But how do I start? I just have like 10 days for the hackathon to begin. So if I want to work in ARVR, I need to know it right now. I need to learn it in 5 to 10 days. How do I do that? Don't worry, I've got you covered on that part as well. Now, before I actually begin with how to start ARVR, I'll just give a little brief of what I did and how I prepared it, and how do I know the tech stack very well. So, even in my courses that I've made and the mentorship that I've given to so many students, first things first, decide what particular application do you want to go for, or which particular part are you targeting. So like Sheetal mentioned that she thinks Snapchat filters are cool, so this is something where you want to go in filters part. You want to display a message or something using filters. It could be Snapchat filters, it could be Instagram filters. They do not require coding at all. uh, I know it's kind of a shocker. Like, okay, there is coding involved, but it is at a very high level. Even I haven't used coding in Instagram filters so far, and Snapchat filters obviously require scripting, but it's very easy to do. That's what I felt, honestly. So if you want to build AR filters, let's say हम लोग Instagram filters बनाते हैं, because there is no coding involved over there, right? So in an Instagram filter, you can build a background filter. You can build an entire game without coding. So it is something which you can learn in 2 hours. I think 2 hours is also a lot of time that I'm telling. If you give a detailed tutorial, if you find a detailed tutorial of a game, and you're just going to turn the theme with what relates to your project, it will take max to max 3-4 hours, not more than that. Because some AR tutorials for Instagram filters are just for 10 minutes, and you can build an entire filter in 10 minutes. So if we build a very complex one also, I think it won't take more than 2 to 3 hours. So that's one domain of it, that's one part of it. Then let's say you want to go for Snapchat filters. You specifically look for resources which are in Snapchat filters, right? Let's say I want to build proper Unity game engine kind of AR applications, or I want to build applications using Unreal Engine, or any gaming engine that you use. I personally used Unity, and I know about Unreal. I don't know more gaming engines. It could be Ethereal engine. I think that there's a new engine that's there. It's probably not new. It's something that I recently learned about. So if you want to build using a particular gaming engine, that's where a different role comes, because that's where you have to code. That's where you have to learn how to work with that engine, and how do I use AR, VR, or MR in it. Now, okay, I again added another topic, MR, which is something that I'll explain in the next 5 minutes. So, I want to build using a gaming engine. Now, which gaming engine do I want to go for? I wanted to use Unity because my mentor knew how to work with Unity, and he said it's probably the most versatile application that you'll find, versatile gaming engine that you'll find. So I was like, okay, I'll start with Unity. I never tried Unreal Engine or Ethereal Engine or any other gaming engine that existed in the market, because my mentor taught me Unity and I was very familiar with it. And gaming engines are very heavy on your system sometimes, especially when I had a laptop of like I think 8 GB RAM. It did not work very well, and I definitely upgraded my laptop after that. But I decided Unity engine it's gonna be. So I learned how to work with Unity engine for a month or so, and after I did that, I made an AR application. So once you know how to work with a game engine, it's just another library that you have to use. So if I know how to work with one particular application, one particular plugin, domain, I can easily involve any other library possible. It's probably going to take 2 or 3 hours to read its documentation and find how to work with it. So it took me like 1 month of mentorship to learn Unity, but I'll give you a resource where you can actually learn the basics of Unity in 1.5 to 2 hours. So once you know how to work with Unity, then it's deciding which library you want to go for. I wanted to learn AR libraries, and within AR also there are so many Unity libraries. So my mentor recommended go for AR Foundation because it's the most complex one. Once you learn a complex library, then it's very easy to work with the easier libraries. So like, okay, I'll go with the complex library. So I started with AR Foundation. Now after I learned that, it was like 1.5 month of mentorship. It was actually 1 month of mentorship and 1 month internship. For within those 2 months, I built a game which is available on Play Store right now, and I built so many applications after that. And then I was challenged by my mentor that okay, you have 1 year left. You have 1 year with you. Every month, that means 12 months, you have to post a new project on LinkedIn that you made yourself. So for that 12 months, I learned 12 different sort of applications that AR can build. And that's how I got my expertise in AR/VR, because now I knew everything that I could do with it. And I literally worked with so many applications after that. I made freelancing as a side income for myself. And I've mentored so many students. I made courses for students because once you get the hang of it, then it's very easy. Then at this point, I know how to involve AR/VR in any project possible. So that's how I did. Now, when I say how to get started with Unity, because that's the engine that I learned. So I'll also give the resources link to the team so that they can enter it in the chat. Um, if you want to go for Instagram filters, then there is Spark AR Studio. Now, this is not something which I mentioned in my PPT, so I'm just writing it down in the chat so the team can post it for you. There is Spark AR Studio for Instagram filters. For Snapchat filters, it's Lens Studio. Now, in case you want to build a proper application for AR, I don't want to build a filter. I want a pure AR APK, or I want an APK which has AR applications in it, different sort of. So that's when I'll actually recommend get like learn Unity and build something out of it. So there's this 1 hour 30-minute long course getting started with Unity. It has everything that you need to know. So if I say Witty Hack starts on 7th, I think I said the right date. I'm sorry if I said the wrong one, but Witty Hack starts on 7th. So on 27th, I am learning, getting started with Unity. I'll be done with how to work with Unity in the next 2 days. Even if like I want to extend as much time possible, by 29th I would know how to work with get started with Unity, or how to basically work with Unity. Then, now I have three things for you. So before I actually explain what steps should be done next, there are three things: augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality. I already talked about augmented reality and virtual reality. Now these are two different things. So some one which is something which you will build for your Android or iPhone. Then there is one which you will build for a headset. Now there is another term within this domain called as mixed reality. It is a combination of augmented and virtual. Now what happens is that, let's say the ball that I was talking about, if I raise my hand over here, a ball is visible, right? If I want to dribble that virtual ball, how do I do that? That's not something AR can do, but that is something mixed reality can do. So in mixed reality, what happens is that your virtual objects start interacting with your real world. So this ball will actually interact with my hand when I dribble it, and also the ground, and I'll be dribbling a virtual ball in the real world. Does that make sense? I hope it does. It's the easiest example possible. So let's say I have this Rubik's Cube right now. Now it's a real object. But let's say this Rubik's Cube was a virtual object. So putting a Rubik's Cube in my hand is augmented reality. But if I start working with this cube, you know, I am currently shuffling it. So if I'm doing this and it's interacting with my hands, now this is mixed reality. So within mixed reality, you also wear another headset, which can actually combine your real and virtual world together. So that's how mixed reality works. Augmented reality can be operated by a phone. Virtual reality works with a headset. Mixed reality works with a headset. So I want to build something for my phone and an Android phone. I'd recommend go for a Google exercise. So Google has this course. It's a code lab. So create an AR game using Unity's AR Foundation. Now again, AR Foundation is a library that I personally worked with. If you want to build for Android, there is a library called AR Core. If you want to build for iPhone, there's a library called AR Kit. And then if you want to build an application which can work on both Android and iPhone, I would recommend go for AR Foundation. And then there's a support plugin that you involve. Now this is something which will kind of go over your head because I give too much information in one sentence. So I would recommend go for AR Foundation and just type a Google search how to make an AR Foundation application using Unity for Android or for iPhone. You'll find so many blogs, so many resources available. When I started working with AR personally, there were not many courses online, and even though there were, it wasn't very clear. So in India, it wasn't a common thing when I started working in this domain. That's when I was so glad I got a good mentor who explained every single thing to me. But for today, if you do a Google search on how to work with these, you'll find tens of thousands of blogs. And then Unity has an entire documentation where you'll see how to work with AR Foundation in detail. Now, I am someone who personally loves working with blogs and written documentation. If you are someone who likes watching tutorial videos, there are so many YouTube videos available. Even I built freely available courses. So even back then, there were no free courses available. Now there are so many courses available on how to work with AR Foundation, how to work with Euphoria, how to work with AR Core, AR Kit, Mars AR. There are so many AR libraries within Unity. Back then, there was just one. So uh, basically, try to find a simple resource on how to work with this particular library. I would definitely recommend going for a Google Code Lab exercise because it's definitely very easy to work with. And I've honestly I've honestly learned from the Code Lab exercises itself. My mentor used to give me exercises every weekend. कि इस week में ये complete करके ही आना है. So that's actually how I learned. So I would definitely recommend go for this resource. It's very well detailed. Now, if I am someone who wants to work with mixed reality, then mixed reality is something which Microsoft has introduced, and they have a very well detailed introduction to mixed reality available. Now, again, this is a freely available resource on Microsoft Learn website. I'm also a Microsoft Learn student ambassador, so I'm aware of the courses and things that they are freely available. If you type learn.microsoft.com, you'll find this particular module. It has very well explained mixed reality applications and how to work with it. Again, this module is for 41 minutes. So you will know how to work with mixed reality in 41 minutes. And I don't think इससे ज़्यादा easy कुछ बनेगा because if you get so many well detailed tutorials or documentations, you'll be able to learn this particular domain within 3-4 days. And if you are very excited about it, I think 2 days are enough for you to understand what you want to do with your project. Following up, I think it's not loaded well. I'll just try to. Okay, yes, present it again. If you're someone who wants to work with virtual reality, Unity Learn has a virtual reality beginner course. So this is actually an escape room game. Now, I'll give an example of a project which you can use this particular tutorial and build for yourself. So I made this in a hackathon where I think it was the time of lockdown. So we built an escape room kind of an aura where you are a human and you need protection from the COVID virus. We were um promoting knowledge about COVID and how to stay safe, how to stay protected. So I have a task to find all the items that I need to protect myself from the virus using an escape room kind of a environment. And once I find all of them, I get a key to a safe room, and that's how I actually used escape room kind of a dynamic to explain how to stay safe during this pandemic. So that's what you can do with a hackathon project. Find a game, find a resource, find a tutorial, and just convert it into your theme. So if you build a VR escape room, um, let's say you have to um, use it using you have to do it something under the education domain. So within the education domain, I have questions on every corner. Once I find an item, I have to answer that question related to some history or something possible. And since it's a gamified format, students will be eager to learn it, and you'll be able to use this particular tutorial, a 3 hour long tutorial. You just have to change its object, change its theme. Let's say it will take me an entire day, and within an entire day I'll be able to make this hackathon project, which is in virtual reality. And it will be a whole different thing because people generally don't do this. So we have a different hackathon project. Now, since I've explained it on live stream, I don't think people will pick it because a lot of people will have this idea in witty hacks then. But that's what you can do with using VR and using tutorials. So if I want to learn AR, if I want to build something in AR, first of all, getting started with Unity is something which everyone will have to do. If I want to build something in AR, I'll go for an AR resource. If I want to build something in mixed reality MR, I'll go for an MR resource available on Microsoft Launch. If I want to build a VR application, I'll go for a VR resource. And that's it. That's how I'll be able to involve AR VR in my project on how to actually do it. Because a lot of people say, yes, it's a cool technology, yes, it's amazing, it looks very fun, it looks exciting, but how do I actually execute it? Now, how to fit it in a existing project? So, like I said, if you have an e-commerce application, and within the e-commerce application you want to give a try on, you can use AR. So we can use AR filters and a try on part of it in our project. Uh, Now I will explain something which was totally impossible at one point in a hackathon project, but somehow we integrated AR/VR over there as well. So I think this was Code for Good. It is a hackathon by JP Morgan, which actually does hire. JP Morgan does their hiring for engineers through JP Morgan Code for Good. So I was applying for their internship, and this was a project when I built. This was a hackathon. Um, to get an internship over there. Now, we had this problem statement where we were supposed to promote hygiene, women hygiene, menstrual hygiene, uh, to areas where there is no network, no internet whatsoever, and you want to basically promote it over there. So, in that sort of an environment or that sort of um, statement that was given to us, we were not even sure if we can build a website or an application, and how do we, incorporate the technologies that we know in a project. And back then, I only knew one tech stack well, so I was like, somehow I will integrate AR/VR into this project because I don't know any other tech stack. And if I want to show that I know software engineering, if I know how to build and I want to get an internship over here, I have to show technical work. I can't just get away with making a presentation or something. So what we did was we did the SMS system. We built everything where we involved an ML kind of I think, an ML algorithm which converted it into different languages to make the experience more personal. And it was like a full on voice chatbot for people where they can, talk and ask things. So we have this SMS system where we are promoting things, and then we added one particular feature where you do door by door service, where people from this particular company are available to go to people and in rural areas promote their tech stack, promote knowledge and everything. Now, not everyone can transfer all the items from one place to another. So that is where we added AR, where I made 3D models of all the things, of all the things we want to teach them about. And they just had to, turn their camera on, and there was a well detailed explanation with the model on what a menstrual cup looks like, or how does the period cycle work, or basically how do you need to maintain your hygiene. So everything was shown in augmented reality, and this was one tiny part of the project. So in a project where there was no scope of even making a website or an application, we somehow incorporated ARVR into it. Now, I will actually probably try my luck and ask people to enter some sort of a problem statement or project idea they have in mind. And if I can suggest how ARVR can be involved in it. If you want to do this fun thing, you can definitely comment. But for the time being, I'll explain other things. So, like I said, it's very easy to incorporate ARVR in websites and um, e-commerce stuff. But for other projects, like something like where you don't have a website, you don't have an application, and you still want to integrate, this was an idea of a door-to-door service that we did. um, if I talk about the education domain, it's very easy to add lectures and sessions and basically education format of it using ARVR, where you recommend people to basically learn from your AR application, from your VR headset, or from, let's say, if we are learning Unity. So we can also build games, right? Now, I don't want to use AR/VR, or it's not something which is feasible in my project, but I know how to work with Unity. So what I can do is I can actually make a game which promotes or explains that particular domain and add it as a part of a web hosted thing. So I will give an example over here. Now, this was my first hackathon project. Again, I had no idea about any of the tech stack than ARVR, and people in my team were building a web portal. So, like, how do I do that? How do I show that even I know how to work in technology by working with a team which does not know what tech stack I know? So, what we did was we made a portal for people who are sitting at home. Now, again, this was during COVID. Most of my majorly main years of BTech have been through the pandemic. So all my hackathon projects where I was a participant were during pandemic only. So I'll be talking about that a lot. Now we built something using um, web development and ML, where we wanted to make people who are currently quarantined feel comfortable. So this was a portal where it provides you doctors, it provides you appointments, it provides you a blog section where you can talk to people, share your feelings, share your emotions. It also has this particular live stats, everything visible about COVID that you want. And then we said, okay, this is done. The major portal section is done. You can book an appointment. You can get consultation. You can order medicines online. We had everything incorporated for them. But how do we integrate a more personal touch? Now, if you're quarantined, you are probably sitting alone, away. So we added a blog section where people can, share and discuss and chat bots. But at the same time, I said, let's add something entertainment sort of thing. So we added an entertainment section where there were so many games available that you can play multiplayer online with other people, that you can play individually if you don't have other people to play around with. And that's where my Unity skills came into play. So I made 3 4 Unity games and I hosted all of them on the website, and I integrated them with my project, with the website that I had. So I gave those deployment links to my web developers, and they said we'll integrate the hyperlinks. That's okay. Just send me pictures and do that. So that's how we did the project. So within that particular portal where we had things, what was I saying? So within that portal where there was no scope of adding ARVR, we added Unity games. So that's how integrated that sort of a portal with Unity with ARVR. Now, Sheetal has a question. How can we incorporate ARVR for a website related to healthcare? Okay. Um so for a healthcare website, let's say you have a section to um we are making things feasible for old age people, and they sometimes don't know which medicines are used for which purpose. So you have your prescriptions uploaded online, and what you do is when I actually show a particular medicine, it detects the image, it detects what text is over there, what particular medicine it is, and it gives a description of what that medicine is used for, so that someone who's at home and probably not understanding what that medicine was for, a prescription, a basic ML model in the back end, and just an image detection can tell you which medicine is used for which purpose. Or let's say we are also adding a fitness option because it's a healthcare website, so I can definitely add a fitness option. So I have body tracking in augmented reality, so I can detect postures of people and see if they are doing the exercise right or not. So that could be another addition to your healthcare website. These are the two things that came on the top of my head, but if you want to go very deep into healthcare, you can also think of more options like let's say an explanation on basically how to check your blood sugar. You have a machine, but you don't know how to work with it. So a basic scan will tell you what to do, and an instruction manual in AR can help you with how to probably check your blood sugar or something of that sort. Or just you display some readings and it gives you a text to speech. So that can also be done using AR here. I hope that makes sense and gives you certain ideas on how to use AR in healthcare. Um, I think that was pretty much it on how to work with projects. If people have any more project ideas or problem statements and they want to know AR examples in it, I can definitely do that. But this is what I had in mind. And if you have any more questions, I am open to them. Oh, okay. I forgot one slide. So I just added tips to become a pro hacker. Connect with the root concept of your project. So, like we were talking about healthcare. With healthcare, the first thing that came to my head was if I want to involve healthcare and AR together. I know my grandparents, they sometimes struggle with finding which is the right medicine for them. So, connect with the root concept of your project. Find the purpose that you're working for. I want to make it feasible for them. Link it to the tech stack that you already know. I have a healthcare website with me, and I just want to integrate this part of it. So there is an AI library where if I detect, the text will find what to do and basically give me an instruction manual, or you know uh, give a speech where it talks about what particular medicine is supposed to use. So you do that, and in the end give the best pitch possible for your project, because I think that's the major part. Sometimes we are not able to integrate everything possible, but we knew what we wanted to do, and if we say it out loud confidently and if we give like a great pitch, sometimes you can definitely impress the judges even though your project was not integrated well. So I have done that several times, where my project maybe wasn't linked to my backend, but I explained it so wonderfully and so confidently that they did not realize that my website was static and it wasn't dynamic, because I had a dynamic code ready. I had a static website ready. I just gave certain facts on the static website because my backend wasn't getting linked. But I just showed them the code and they were like, okay, that works. That's fine with us. So, just give the best pitch possible that you have, and that will do 90% of the work for you. I mean, obviously, your project matters, your idea matters, but pitching is very, very important in a hackathon. In the end, if you have any questions, and in case if you liked the entire presentation I gave, and if you did definitely go, and I definitely recommend taking screenshots and posting it out on Twitter or LinkedIn and reaching out to me. I'd be happy to help you, and I'll be seeing some of you, or I think most of you, at Witty Hacks as well. So I'm very excited to connect with you all. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you, Jaspreet.